Well, Susan, since this is our first counseling session, I just really wanted to put this in context for you a little bit, which is I am a person-centered expressive arts therapist, and at some points I will be offering you the option of doing some art or some movement, and I want you to feel really free to say no or yes or no. So it's really an option, okay? And the other thing is that even though there's a lot of lights and cameras going on, I feel pretty sure that just as soon as we get involved, get going, that we will be able to screen out all this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I really want to be here for you.
Thank you.
And the way I like to start, which helps me, and I think it might help you too, is to have a minute or two of meditation. You'd like that? Okay, I gather. And I will say a few things, and you can ignore them or listen to them, whatever. Okay? So let's just close our eyes for a minute. I start with a meditation in order to let go of all the external things that have been going on in my life so that I can really focus on the client and on the situation, as well as having the client focus on his or her immediate concern. Take a few deep breaths. And let's feel the support we have underneath us. Maybe let our shoulders relax. And take another relaxing breath. And you might allow yourself to think about or feel or intuit anything that is of concern to you today or this week that you might want to explore. So allow yourself a few moments to think about that. Allow any feelings to come up. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and we can go from there. So how would you like to begin?
Well, something that I've been struggling with, noticing it's very clear to me that I'm struggling with some issues around, well, I see it showing up in almost like a self-sabotage. I feel a struggle between what I'm doing. It has a lot to do about career, but it also has a lot to do about the passion and direction in my life, and where shall I tell you the history, kind of just a little bit about what got me to where I am?
Yeah, whatever you need to. Even though this is the very first session I've had with Susan, it's important to notice that I put the responsibility on her as to where we're going to go in her therapy. That's part of the person-centered approach. I'm going to follow the client's path.
About 5 years ago, I sold my business, accounting, bookkeeping, doing a lot of, very technical thinking and working with clients, and so that I could work with horses more in a therapeutic vein, just to really, because that's feel is my calling. And what's happened, I spent 3 years right after I sold the business and worked almost completely with horses because I had the financial ability to do that. And found myself about 1.5 years ago having to kind of go back into a more lucrative kind of, bring in some money.
Back to the bookkeeping kind of thing?
And it was okay at first because I chose my I chose my clients and I just take on a few, but what's happening is that I feel I'm kind of selling myself out because there's so much of it that I don't want to do anymore.
You really don't want to do it.
I really don't.
You really, I get the feeling there's a lot of emotion there.
Yeah, and it's so what's happening is I'm sabotaging. There's a, and I'm still working with horses. But there's recently been a shift which has opened up to allow me to really move even more so in that direction.
Into the horse direction.
Yeah, into where I want to go, and it's.
But you're sabotaging yourself some way. Could you explain that a little more? What's happening?
Well, I procrastinate to the last minute and then feel all this pressure and then end up having to go through all the stress to meet a deadline for somebody or something.
Okay, you're talking about procrastinate about the clients.
Right.
Okay.
And it's funny, someone asked me what things you don't want in your life anymore, and one of them was I don't want to manage my life around other people's deadlines. You know, I don't want to, because I feel like I'm not living my own life. You know, I kind of feel like that I have all of this, and it's so detail oriented, and it's so intellectually, you know.
It's like polar opposites. It sounds like.
Yeah.
The horses and the bookkeeping clients.
Yeah. But I feel stuck there. You know.
I think you said, if I heard you correctly, that you don't want to manage your life around other people's deadlines, and you find yourself really procrastinating with those kind of clients, like some sort of resistance. I don't want to be doing that.
Huge.
I really, really don't want to be doing that anymore.
Here Susan is offering the whole dilemma that she's in. It's an overview of what's going on in her life that is difficult. So I reflected and sort of summarized her situation, that she was not wanting to be dictated by other people's concerns.
So maybe just get in touch with what that is. I really, really don't want to be doing that anymore.
So here's a good example of summarizing what she has been saying without any judgment, just reflecting what she's saying and emphasizing some of the emotional content. She's feeling really heard, and therefore she delves deeper into what is bothering her.
Okay.
It's important here to notice the silence. A lot of therapists have trouble letting the silence be, but that's when the client actually is figuring out what she wants to say.
That's so strong a feeling for you. You've had it with them. Here's something extra.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, I think for the last year I've been struggling with it. But that's all I know, you know.
That's all you know? I'm not quite clear what that means.
It's kind of what I fall back on to make,
make money.
To make money and
that's all I know.
Okay. But there's so much other creative aspects of me that just keep getting pushed down, you know.
So there's this real passion to allow the creative part of you to come up, and somehow the finances is really holding you up from getting there. Am I right?
Yeah. And it's frustrating because
you can't make money doing the
Well, that's
horse
what
thing.
I keep thinking, you know, but in actuality that's not true. But I think I'm real afraid to make that shift and to move into that.
So
And
there's
you know what part of it is that I think I have this belief that you really you can't make a living of something you really enjoy doing. And what happens is because it's a deserving thing. Okay. Because I feel like if I'm doing something that I really enjoy, then there's a weird thing about accepting money for that.
I understand that.
I don't know quite.
Like if I'm doing something that is really my passion, I don't deserve getting paid well for that.
Yeah,
there's something about that that's a belief system of yours. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So if I do something that I'm passionate
about. But I have
about,
no problem charging somebody for,
bookkeeping.
Yeah.
So that's, is that also part of your self-sabotaging by having this belief system?
I think so.
So I'm not making that up. That's part of what you're saying?
Yeah.
I am listening to Susan at a very deep emotional level, and my intent is to follow her path and let her experience being heard, rather than helping her make the decision of which way she wants to go with her career.